really changed their interface.
I haven't noticed a change on mine.
I
Yeah,
haven't either.
yeah, it's yeah, I don't know. It's all there. It just kind of it's in a little bit different spot than like they have the little X at the right that says end instead of leave meeting and always they're always everybody's always changing things to make things better.
I know,
Or
and
confusing
they
them together.
always decide to update right before I'm logging in for a call. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, your Zoom needs to update now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that happened to me a couple weeks ago with going live on Facebook. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I deleted one of my live at fives right after I did it because it was different. And I thought I was deleting this message and I deleted the whole darn video. And it was a
Oh,
good
no.
one.
Don't you hate that?
It was a good one.
Can I ask a question about that real quick?
Of course.
Now, when you go live, it only lets you post it for 30 days and then it deletes. Is there any way to?
Click on that little carrot and it will let you change it.
Click on
The
what,
default
Leanne?
is the default is 30 days, but there's a little like arrow next to it. Click on that and it will let you choose.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
What I need to do is practice a little bit more because I've done it, but I'm not proficient at it as keeping downloading it, and keeping it as a video. You know, I've got so many lives. I have so much video I could probably use if I sat down and did it, but that's a story of another time. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk a little bit about tonight. Dawn, you reminded me today of a workshop in Dash that, they have really changed Dash and the interface, which I think has made it easier to look at. And, Dawn, I've always thought of you as, and I remember back when we were on Topsail Beach for that retreat.
Uh-huh.
And I really learned how good you are at time management and planning. And so whenever I think of that, I think of you. And then today, of course, you mentioned about the Lead Yourself workshop. And we have not talked about that much, at least in any workshops I've been in. And
it's brand new.
Oh, is it? It is brand new. Okay.
It is brand new.
And how did you find out about it?
That I think, if I'm not mistaken, they sent out an email or I saw it, and I am not good at going over to like the director Facebook page, but occasionally something will catch my attention.
Mhm.
And I saw something about it and I thought, the title of it just caught my attention because, I don't know about y'all, but when somebody says, well, I don't know what to do, or I need somebody to tell me what to do, and I'm like, this is not rocket science.
No.
And we all have exactly what we need right at our fingertips. It's right there for you. All you have to do is plug into it. Fortunately, if they're part of our teams, they have so much more they can plug into, but they don't have to. They
No.
could take the website and be 100% successful. So to me, when it said lead yourself, I'm like, that's what people need to realize. It's not up to me or Karen or Meg or Lynn or anybody else to help them be successful. They have the tools to be successful on their own. It's more fun when you get to do it with other people and you get to get excitement and ideas from other people. But I think people need to know it's about leading yourself. It's about finding that internal motivation and your why and scheduling and planning. And or have either of y'all looked at this new Dash training?
No.
I think they had us look at it when we did that destination director. Did they?
Okay. When was that, Lynn? Recently?
May.
That would have been in May.
Okay. That it may be so. It's like 5 days and each one's 5 minutes. And it kind of reminds me of the pillars of success. It starts with belief and then it goes into, you setting your goals and making a plan. And that's as far as I've gotten. I'm just doing one a day this week to get through it. But today's was about doing a time audit, which I think is huge.
Yeah, and I've got that. I thought I would share that. I mean, the classes are like five minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only 5 minutes, um, and it really helped them. So I'll go ahead and share what I was thinking. Let me go ahead and just share this.
You know, it's funny because ever since I quit working in the corporate world, my husband's always teasing me and he's like, you know, ever since you quit working a corporate job, you have no time management.
It's harder.
Yeah, it
It
is.
is.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot harder when you have more time
Yeah.
to manage it.
Yep.
And, you
He's
know-
like,
and,
maybe
you
if I tell you that Lynn is going to be there, you'll be there on time.
know, well, I think I fight with myself. I fight with myself because, nobody can tell me what to do, not even me,
Lucy
And
can.
oh yeah, she sure can. But this is, this is where it starts. Lead yourself, and I love the analogy of the seeds and the seedlings.
Mhm.
But again, but then basically, like Dawn was talking about, can you see this? Let me go to the monthly roadmap first. Can you see it on your screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is, I mean, you can print these out, and again, I think it's, they say what it's 42, you're 42% more productive. You're more likely to reach your goals if you sit down and you think about them and do them. Now, I don't know. Yeah, see, you could even, do this as a PDF and save it, or you can print it out and do it.
And you know what I love about that? It is not just how much income do you want or how many parties do you want. It is teaching them how all of that is connected.
Mhm.
You can't just say, I want to make $1,000 a month and I want to do one party a month. Because
Right.
that doesn't work.
Right. And that's
Um,
that's how we can work with them to see, to, make sure what they're writing is doesn't make sense.
yeah.
And they're looking to us for that guidance.
Mhm.
But I also think it helps if we sit down and we do it for
Absolutely.
ourselves,
Mhm.
So this is one thing, and I could, and what I'll do is I downloaded this, and I'll just put it in Joe Pack because I think it's so good. It just makes it easy sometimes to, oh shoot, I think I just deleted. Let me grab, I was going to share the other one too. And then I was going to take you through a couple other things I learned. Time audit sheet. There. And so this is another thing where you can audit your time, but that led me to think of a weekly planner. And I think it's really helpful if this isn't something that you do, what you should do is take a week and look at how you're spending your time. I think it's good to do that, to analyze it, because then you can kind of convince yourself like, woo, Dawn, was Sue Rush still around when you started, Dawn?
Yes.
Okay. Sue Rush always said, you really need to think about, and what am I doing right now, what will get me further? Am I using my time most productive right now? And that was when I learned that, we were talking the other day about how, we would work all the time. We would answer the phone during dinner, and we would, we didn't want to miss a phone call, and we were feeling like we were working 24/7. And I realized one time I was washing dishes, talking to somebody on the phone, and I couldn't possibly do what I needed to do to help them with my hands in the dishwater. And that's when at that time, I decided I was not having a portable phone. I would only talk business on my landline on my desk, which I still love to this day. I don't have a landline, but that's when I realized that, that really thinking about how you spend your time is so important. And then, so if you take a week and kind of look at how you're spending your time, And then you take this planner and plan out, you know, how you know, I mean, do you have a routine that you follow already? I know, Dawn, that you do. I'd like to be a fly on your wall about how you spend your day.
I'm not so good at that, Karen.
Thank
I
you.
did at one time. I had a daily, a weekly, a monthly checklist.
Mhm.
But I do not have that anymore. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm at the point in my life that I don't have anything else that really pulls me away. You know, when I had my kids at home, I had to be really organized because I took them to school every day. I picked them up from school every day. I volunteered at school multiple days a week. I did not miss a sporting event. And I was doing 18, 20 parties a month. So
Mhm.
I had to organize every second of my day in order to get it in. But now I don't really have, I mean, you know, I go do stuff with mama, but I really don't have anything that pulls me away. So I don't feel like I have to be as organized, which is not a
Mhm.
good thing, Meg, like you were saying.
Mhm.
Uh, I tend to get a lot more done when my time is more limited.
Mhm. But from what I've seen with you, Dawn, is that you do have a routine. You do have a routine, and I think that, you know, and that probably comes from planning your time, you know, in the past too.
Yeah.
Um, so, how about Meg and Lynn? I mean, how are you at organizing your time?
I used to be good. So and I was even thinking about this the last couple days. It seems like ever since Facebook made that switch and like cut us off from using any third party posting, I would have my routine down as to what I needed to do when I was doing my booking ask, like, setting up my parties, sending out my host packets. I had it down. But now that everything has switched, I don't have a routine. I don't have a set schedule. And my husband even keeps telling me, like, you need to set office hours. So you will only, be in your office from, this time to this time, and you're not going to be taking calls. You're not going to be answering text messages, like that kind of stuff. So I really do need to buckle down and get better with it. But I'm hoping and praying that Pamper Chef has great things for us next week to help us with it, So I need
I
help.
feel lost too. I feel lost too with that, Meg. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the rug's been pulled out from under us there.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. You don't realize how much we relied on using those third-party postings to
Mhm.
help, like, keep our business so streamlined. And
Mhm.
now that we don't have it, we're like pulling our hair out. Like I'm like a chicken with my head cut off. I don't know what to do right now.
I feel the same way.
Do
Yeah,
you? So it's good we're talking about time management today.
yeah.
And, you know, and again, I think that it's helpful to think about, I know that there are, days that are better for me to do certain things, and coming up with a daily list. Um, and, again, certainly like, after the beginning of the month for directors, figuring out recognition for the team, that kind of thing, figuring out goals. I know we used to take, we used to not get our updates until the 10th of the month. And back like, 10, 15 years ago, we would use the 10th of the month as our planning day,
Yep.
where we would teach people to just take no, don't take any incoming calls, only make outgoing calls. And that's what that book helped to, today, Dawn, we were talking about, um, it's like, setting boundaries of what you're going to do when, and I think that is kind of the key for you to take the time to really think about the tasks you have to do and when they have to be done, and you're dead meat if you don't get them done that day. And he talked today, Michael Hyatt talked about, you know you really only need to do three major things a day, and do the easiest one first. Which is interesting because there's some people that say do the hardest one first, but
Yeah,
I
that
think
was very interesting to me.
yeah, like eat your frog kind of thing, because we
Yeah,
learned
but
eat your
it
frog.
did make sense,
Mhm.
you know,
What's
and
what's the reasoning for doing the easy thing first?
because you have success. It's kind of
Oh,
like the
okay.
Dave Ramsey financial piece. He says you take your smallest debt and you
Right.
snowball that one first because
Yeah.
then you have that sense of success. Whereas our brain would say, take the one that has the highest interest rate. He said, no, because you need to feel that success so that you keep going. And that was kind
Okay.
of the
Yeah,
same concept of this
that
book.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's,
And,
I say that about new consultants. You know, we have to, success for a new consultant is not the same as success for us. You know, for us, it's a $500+ party, right? But for them, when they get that first email that says you've got an order, that is success. And they are like elated, you know?
Yeah.
And when they begin to feel those little successes, then they're more willing to do more to get more of those successes. But if we say success is $1,000 in sales and that is not reachable, then they never get that feeling of being successful. And I think that's when people get discouraged. I don't know. Does that make
and I
sense?
think, and I think that,
Yeah.
as time goes on, and, again, guiding our new consultants, but, there are, we're going to find that everybody is different, and maybe maybe doing the hardest thing, getting it out of the way so you don't dread it all day, or that, thing you hate to do the most, it serves you, but at some point you have to make a decision which one works for you. And sometimes I think that's hard, you know? Um, it's these personal decisions, though, that I think are important because they're not reliant on social media or what kind of parties we do or any of that. It's just a matter of personal introspection and trying things. I mean, don't you think it's amazing that here I, 32 years into the business and I'm still searching for the perfect thing, you know? And, maybe Stacey Itzel's got it all right. I don't know.
But no, we learned that today, you know, Karen, that you have to be flexible and willing to pivot. And I think if you get to that feeling that, well, I figured it out, I've got it all right, then you're rigid and you're not able to pivot when you have to. When Facebook says you can't use Scheduler anymore, you got to figure out a
Yeah.
different way to do this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We have to be able to adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't know. It looks like Lynn overcame the couch.
My husband's watching a movie downstairs and I can't hear anything but that. So I'm up
And if
here.
you've seen his movie room, it is insane. I'm surprised you can't hear it upstairs in her office.
I can a little.
Yeah. But I wanted to point out too that this weekly planner, do you know where I got this? This is one of the coolest things I learned today. Canva.
What?
It's in Canva. And then
Really?
yeah, so then I went into Canva and I want to show you. Let me play around here. I went into templates and weekly. There's a weekly planner. And then here, and look at, there's monthly calendars. So now instead of trying to make that galdarn pretty calendar, I can go in here and put the dates, the times right here.
Yeah, I've made a little monthly calendar
Oh.
in Canva too.
And you knew this, you didn't tell me.
Well, I didn't do the weekly one. I didn't know that one existed, Karen. Only the
Well,
monthly.
the thing, I figured if they had a weekly one, they must have a monthly one.
Right?
So now I need to take a Canva class because now I feel like it really lacking, and I love Canva and I spent all my time in Canva, but isn't that cool, you guys?
Yeah, I like that. It's almost like we can create our own organizer. We don't need to buy one anymore.
Yeah, right.
I love Canva.
I love Canva.
And I think I have literally just barely scratched the surface.
Oh, there's so much to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's coming back to, you know, kind of the theme of our little talk tonight is, you know, again, using the resources that Pampered Chef has for us. And this really is good stuff. I mean, it walks you through, you know, the basics, you know, for especially for new consultants, or a reminder, you know, to kind of think it's, and it's all about making yourself, again, lead yourself. I just really love that. And once you get the plan, and once you get the plan and you figure out what you want and what you need, then putting the steps to it is so much easier. And you don't take your time having to reinvent the wheel every day or every week or every month.
Yeah.
You know, because right now, remember that right now we are halfway through the year and evaluating, are we where we want to be? I mean, Dawn just earned the Disney trip. So,
That's
you know,
fabulous.
she's, you know, so, you know, we know that you can earn, you know, a trip in 6 months, especially coming into the heavy selling season,
Yeah.
you know. And then, of course, this being a grit call and wanting to, you know, work on our business, you know, recruiting, bookings, and we're coming into the heavy selling season and being on top of that. You know, do you want to make directorship by the end of the year? Would you like to promote, you know, for those of us, you know, I may not get to executive by the end of the year, but maybe I could recruit 5 people by the end of the year, you know, and, you know, again, that, you know, if we had a challenge where each one of our directors pre-promoted themselves with 5 directors, you know, that would be a great goal to do by the end of the year. Could be a month. I mean, it really just depends on what you want. People do recruit 5 people in a month. So what do you think about that? Does that help you think about how to manage yourself?
Yeah, I like that there's a training. I'm definitely going to jump into Dash. And I'm in such a bad habit. I keep forgetting that we even have Dash, even though I tell my new consultants to use it all the time. I never go in there. So, you know, that's definitely something that I need to do is that, and then really focusing on the time management.
I think I better put that in July tips. I think I still have a day left in that July tips to remind everyone
And
to
I'm
go.
telling you, when we did Empower, you remember, Karen, I think it was when we went to Myrtle Beach
Yes.
and they had the guy that developed Dash do a big, long training with us. And before that, I was like, I don't need Dash. I know all that stuff.
Right.
And he was like, you know, it's 5 to 7 minutes of class. And he said,
Mhm.
every day, just get in the habit of going in. And I got really excited about our whole leadership team did. And we came home and we engaged. And then what did we do? We went back to our old bad habits.
Mhm.
But I got excited again. And you know, the thing is, we cannot tell other people to do something that we're not willing and are doing ourselves.
Mhm.
And I think that as a leader in this business, we have to be willing to step up and do the same things, not think that we know everything, and be
Yeah,
willing to step up and take advantage of the same things that we're asking them to do.
absolutely.
And I think that when we do that and we see that it works, it's then we are sold ourselves. And it's like anything else, we have the enthusiasm.
Mhm.
And you know, then that attracts people. And you're not convincing people. You're you know, serving as inspiration for that. I have to tell you that every time I go in and take a Dash workshop, I learn something every time.
Mhm.
And it just makes, you know, I mean, like, you know, you're either ripe and rotten or green and growing, you know, and um, so with that, any other ideas, or you know, is that I will download those onto and I did a PDF of that daily, I'm sorry, the weekly time, you know, schedule, because I think it's really important for um, everyone to do, and that probably should just be part of our team culture is,
Yeah.
you know, because that's where it starts. Everybody thinks they don't have time, but you know, when you
What
can
my
take,
mama tells me, We all
Right.
have enough time and enough money to do what's important to us.
Mhm.
And isn't that
Mhm.
true?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I might say, well, I can't afford that, but I'll go buy a $500 purse.
Right.
But I can't afford to go out and pay $25 for a meal
How much for a purse?
or more.
Um, oh, I just lost a train of thought too. I had a really good thought. Yeah, oh, I know, it was that meme. Have you seen that meme? To be part of today's society or something where, um, it's a little bit political about, paying off school loans to those that have $1,000 phones and $8 Starbucks.
Yep.
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 Goes back to priorities, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm like, well, how many tattoos do you have? I don't have anything against any of it if you can afford it. I got no
Right.
problem with it.
But it is true, you know.
Yeah.
And Brad said that, when he would work with people, like, oh, I'm poor. He said, you pay $250 a week to get your hair done. Get that weave in your hair, and you telling me you can't afford to go buy yourself some khaki pants off the rack at Walmart?
Makes sense
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, I
Time
think
and money, two
time and money.
huge commodities, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And and maybe this is how we can approach it with our new team members is that, we want to help you use your time effectively. If you allow us to walk you through it and help you, walk through the dash and then ask them, did you fill that out? How are you doing? Could you commit to seeing how you spend your time? Could you get up 15 minutes early? You know,
I always think about Belinda. She used to say when she taught about the power hour, she said, if you did 1 power hour a week, you would not recognize your business.
right.
And
Hmm.
people, it kind of goes back to when somebody says, well, I don't have time to do this. Well, how much time do you think it takes?
Right.
It doesn't have to be 40 hours a week.
It's amazing what you can do,
Mhm.
in an hour.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, I hope that this has helped you. If there's anything you think we should add to this?
I actually have a question.
Okay.
Listening to your Karen chat this morning
Yes.
about doing reach outs,
Yes.
and you said something that really hit home with me, reaching out in service, not actually asking for the booking right off the bat. How do you start that conversation with somebody that was in a party a year ago?
You go back and see what they bought. Maybe if you can remember what you made at that party, sometimes I can remember, it might be, have you ever made that recipe? Or again, even it's the veggie peeler. Isn't that the best veggie peeler you've ever used? Just to start a conversation like that, you know, um, is there anything from Pampered Chef? I could lead to a conversation into, is there anything that you could use from Pampered Chef right now? Is there anything I can help you with? If they've got around a stone baker, have you used, get it, I mean, a year later, they may not have gotten it out of the box if you haven't touched base with them then. It's just starting a conversation about what they bought, you know. If you can take yourself back to where you met them, I think that, some of us have better memories than others,
Not me anymore.
you know, but usually I can remember what party they were at, and usually I can remember what they made. If not, I might ask them, "Hey, what did we make at that party? Have you made it? Oh my gosh, I made that recipe, kind of thing." Anything you would add to that, Dawn or Meg? I mean,
Something else that I'm thinking is like so you could go back like in your messages to them from during the party, and then if they never placed an order, um, I don't know, maybe something along the lines of, it's been a year since so and so's party. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. Hope you're having a great summer. I don't know. What do you guys think?
And I've been doing that with this 5-day hard challenge. it's 10 two-way connections every day. And my brain, I don't want to reach out to people because of Pampered Chef. I just want to build relationships. And it is amazing when you do that, how things start coming in. So Monday I did my lifestyle post. And then that afternoon, I went in and looked at all the people that commented and or liked my lifestyle post. And some of them that I haven't connected with in a while, I just sent them a message and said, "Oh my gosh, Karen, I've been seeing you in the pool. When did you get that pool in your backyard?" Or, "Gosh, Meg, I can't believe how big your kids are getting." And just to have that one-on-one relationship conversation. I heard somebody say the other day, when they were working on another business, I got tired of asking people to buy stuff. And I thought, how did you miss that message all these years? Because that is not what this business is about. And if you think it is, then you are not going to be successful. We are not in a sales business. We're in a relationship business. The sales, the bookings, the recruits are all going to come as a result of that. But if we just look at it as through the eyes of a salesman, we're going to be sadly disappointed over and over and over again. But if we really focus on those relationships, all that other stuff is going to come. People are going to want to be a part of what we're doing because, as Cristobal says, they like us, they know us, and they trust us. And they only do those three things when you build a relationship with them. So I think sometimes you just have to think, I'm just reaching out to people. And I do tell my team, it's not always fast that way. So if you're doing 10 reach outs and asking for bookings, you might get a booking quicker than if you're just doing those 10 reach outs and connecting. But I promise you, if you do that every day for 5 days, at the end of that week, you're going to say, "Oh my gosh, Dawn, my business is on fire. And all I did was reach out and build relationships with people." I promise you.
Yeah. There's just a change of that mindset.
Mhm.
And, and I have to say, there was a time when my business was moving so fast that I didn't have time to build relationships. And it reminds me there are people out there who really have a hard time. They're just, it's not that they don't want to, they don't know how. They don't know how to start the conversation. And I think we need to understand that there are people like that. And
Yeah.
especially if maybe, again, I think it comes a little bit with age and experience. I mean, we have a lot of socially inept young people out there.
Yeah, you're right. And
You know?
COVID did not help that.
No, it
No.
didn't. So I've learned I have to be patient and I have to give grace,
Absolutely.
because and even with myself, because I can think of a time when I wish I would have spent more time building the relationship, but I was so busy. I mean, I was so busy, anyway,
I just don't think back in the beginning,
Mhm.
it was as important as it is now,
You're right.
because they didn't have access to 50,000 consultants.
Mhm.
They pretty much had access to the people in their local area,
Right.
but
Yeah.
now they have lots of choices.
Mhm.
You look, and Meg and I might have 50 mutual friends. So they got a lot of choices out there. And I think it has become more important than ever for us to become their friend,
Mhm.
and have that relationship with them. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
it does.
Does that help, Lynn?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll come up with something, Lynn, because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do my list of hosts from last year and just go back through parties
And I
and
don't
reach
know,
out and connect.
on reports and stuff, can we do a search on, like, if especially some of the bigger items, when people spend a lot of money, we want to make sure that they're happy and that they're using them. We don't want, I mean, it just breaks my heart when I hear somebody have even a quick cooker, still in the box. Like, you get the gall darn thing out, would you? And I've gotten to the point, of course, here, and I'm kind of, we were talking earlier about my time isn't so constrained. And I'm like, I'll come over and show you how to use it. Come
Yeah.
on over. Get some, you want to make a pot roast? You want to make something? Get the ingredients. I'll come over and show you how to do it in your pressure cooker.
And I have that relationship with people in my VIP. Like Meg and I started in January doing these workshops on different tools. And a lot of people said, thank you. I never even pulled it out of the box till you started
Mhm.
doing these.
Mhm.
Are you doing those online,
I did in my VIP.
just live?
They're recorded, but yeah.
Okay.
And then I started putting some of them into landing pages so that if people missed it, I could send them the landing page and it would have all the videos in it.
Huh. Would you mind sending me one of those? I'd love to just look at it.
Yeah, I can do that.
Thank you. That's a
But
great idea.
Yeah. So many great ideas, you guys. Just, you amaze me. You just amaze me with how you brainstorm and come up with things, and, ice cream nachos,
Well, the important thing is that you are on stuff like this. I was talking to one of my consultants about that today. She said, why didn't more people not take advantage of this? And I said, you go put that out there. Go put it on our team page and say, y'all, this is a gold mine. Because so many great ideas are shared when you collaborate.
Mhm.
Not that one person knows everything. It's when I say something, it triggers something for you, and then you share, and then it triggers something for you.
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about.
And one idea can change your whole life.
Yeah.
100%
One idea can change your whole life. And so,
in a second.
and it is much more effective coming from the team. I mean, I can't get out and say, well, this was I do say it's a great workshop, but nobody's going to believe me,
Right.
and it's like if you're doing a party and you're talking about the food chopper, you can talk all about it. But when somebody in the audience is going, oh my, I don't know what I do without that, blah, blah, blah. Everybody buys one. They listen to them, so it's really the same,
That's right.
so yeah. So
And
it's
we're
really,
all guilty, I mean, I am, and I say this to Karen all the time. I don't come on as much because I'm leading a bunch with my team, but that's an excuse.
well,
And we can, as I always tell people, we can either make excuses or make money, but you can't make both.
and I don't get upset and I don't keep track, but I do notice if somebody never makes it. I don't expect anyone to make everything. I can't always do everything either. So, in fact, it was really funny. They had a fish fry at church today, and they were like, "Well, you're not coming." I'm like, "Well, no." They think that Live at 5 is like party time. I'm like, "You guys, this is my job." And they're like, "Well, we'll change it." I go, "You're not going to change the church fish fry to suit my schedule. Somebody else won't be able to make it." But no,
That's
it,
funny.
it is true. So, but but I'm just happy we're all going to be at conference, and I'm
I'm
looking
so
forward.
excited to see you girls.
I'm
I know.
excited to see y'all.
I'm excited for tomorrow because tomorrow I'm going to really, I have to really focus on what's going on and what we're doing, and we can download that app now too. Did you see that?
Yes, my question got answered. I got all those great little printables
Oh, did you? Where were they? Because Marna never answered me.
in that email that came out today.
Oh, it was okay.
Yep, there's links to print the handouts for all the workshops.
Okay, all right. Are you printing them out yourself, or you're sending them to somewhere?
I'm printing them out myself.
Oh, okay.
Are they in
Okay.
the app or?
No, the email that came out today,
Okay.
they're right there. There's a link for
Oh.
every breakout,
nice.
yeah.
And if we know
Awesome.
anybody that still wants to go and they didn't register, they can register at the door, which is good. So, but today is the last day for virtual registration. So anyway, well, you guys, thanks so much for your time tonight. I hope that you picked something up, and I know I'm inspired to kind of go back. It's always going back to the basics for me. It's always going back to the
Mhm.
basics.
They
Yeah.
work,
Yeah,
They
like all those
work.
darn sayings. All those sayings come up.
Doris was not a dummy.
No, she wasn't. She's a very smart woman. So, All
Thanks,
right, you
y'all.
guys.
Good to see you. Feel better,
Good to
Lynn.
see you. Yeah,
Thank
Lynn,
you.
take
I
Get
just
care.
yourself
sent-
well. You got to go to Chicago.
I know,
yeah.
I know. And Dawn, I just sent that, I sent one of mine to you.
Oh, good. I may have questions.
Ask away. I'm just gonna be plopped on the couch for the rest of the night, so go ahead and text me.
Okay, I will.
All
Great.
right.
Thank y'all.
Good
All right.
night.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Bye, guys.